10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's the Rocket Hour. Y'all are now tuned in. Time to hit the pick four that you'd love to win. If your money's coming slow, step on the faster track with your host, Ricky Pasternak. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Rocket Hour, episode 104. As Ricky corrected me, I labeled it as 103. It's 104. I forgot yesterday's. Late pick 4 at Saratoga coming up. Let's open it up with this, though, Ricky. The draw for the Travers has happened. It happened just now. There is your field with post positions. I'll read them off right now. Midnight Bourbon gets the rail. He's going to be 9-2 on the morning line. Essential Quality has drawn on the inside. So Essential Quality draws number 2 at 4-5. Keep Me in Mind, number 3 at 6-1. Dynamic 1, he draws the 4 at 6-1. The 5, 12-1 on Miles D. The 6 will be Mass Parade at 8-1. And the 7, King Fury, longest shot on the board, draws the outside 15-1. No surprises here, Ricky. Just immediate reactions when you see that.
Well, first of all, I didn't even know they were doing the draw. Did they do this draw like on TV? Did they do it live stream? You have to be there, I guess, for track people, I guess. Okay.
Yep.
Good to get that out of the way because I definitely would have watched if it was on somewhere. Immediately, I'm looking at Dynamic 1 at 6-1. I'm not saying to beat Essential Quality, just that would be my top upset choice. I know you talked about Miles D. Live on Naira YouTube, so I guess it was available. All right. Well, it is what it is. Mike Somich asked us yesterday what he thought of Essential Quality at even money. Clearly, if we took that even money bet, we'd be right because 4-5 more likely means 3-5 when they break from the gate. So 3-5, or even give yourself the 4-5. We would have been happy with that even money. But yeah, I'm looking at Dynamic 1. He seems to be getting better for Todd Pletcher while we kind of know what the other ones are. I'm interested what you said with Miles D because I also think he might be getting better as well. Some of these other horses like Keep Me in Mind, King Fury, Mass Parade, Midnight Bourbon, we know what they are, and it's not good enough. So, yeah, between the Dynamic 1 and Miles D, I think there's some value there if you're looking to beat the chalk.
Yeah, decisions to be made for sure, but I'm with you. If I'm going to try to beat Essential Quality, which I'm not going to, but if I was going to want to, I would want a price. And I think Miles D at 12-1 is mildly interesting. Second time routing, second time routing, second race off the layoff, gets Flavian Pratt aboard for this one. I think Miles D is interesting underneath. I think the lead here, Essential Quality draws the 2 post. So he draws inside. So I think if you're a jockey in this race, you got to try to pin him on that rail. I think that's what you got to try to do. If I'm the other 6 jockeys, I'm ganging up on this horse because I think that's how you beat him. So him on the inside could add some intrigue. He's tactical enough, though it probably shouldn't. But I think that's the only lead, so to speak, of the lead headline, I guess I should say, of this draw is, he drew inside, so we'll see what happens. And Keep Me in Mind gets Rosario for the second time. Horse fits him like a glove. I agree. I just don't know if he's good enough. I think if he was going to beat him, it would have been last time. That seemed like the perfect situation to beat him, and he still couldn't do it. So we'll see. But yeah, first look right there. We'll talk a lot about this, I'm sure, on Friday as well. But this is it's what we expected. 7 horses. It's not a great field, but it does have that headliner. So it's going to be fun. Listen, before we get going, I asked Papa Dude who CM Punk was, and he did not know. Do you know who CM Punk is, Ricky? That's the question.
All right. I'm not a wrestling fan, but I sure as heck know who CM Punk is. I know he just made his return to like AEW, which I guess is like a competitive rival of WWE, I guess. I don't watch it. I used to watch growing up like a long time ago. I mean, 12, 13. And I know he was like a huge, huge deal. I don't know how to prove that I knew other than the fact that he was away from wrestling or whatever he was doing for a while and then came back. He's from Chicago, so I knew, him making a return to AEW in Chicago was a big deal, I'm sure, to him and to wrestling fans. It's weird. Wrestling's the only, I'm not calling it a sport. I never will. It's not real. The only entertainment business that like people are fans of the characters, right? So like if you went to AEW, like there are people that are CM Punk fans that will now watch AEW because he's on it. If that makes sense. Like if John Cena were to go to, they wrestle in like Japan or something, right? Like if you were to go there, people would watch it more for him, as opposed to like, oh, I'm a Yankee fan, I root for people on the team type of thing. So I definitely noticed that, and it seemed like there was a massive outpour of like love for him. So I guess, again, I don't know how much else I can prove it other than that. I feel like I did pretty well. So
I feel like you watched it and you love wrestling and you're just too ashamed to admit it. That's what I got out of that.
No, I've been on the record saying I watch one wrestling event a year. Well, I guess it's two, because WrestleMania is like 2 nights a year now. It's a weird 2. That's it. That I am on the record saying that. That's if I'm on Twitter and there's like a video that someone retweets, sure, I'm gonna watch the video, but I'm not gonna go actively seek out Monday Night Raw. Never in my life. I'd rather read a book, and I don't read. I haven't read a book since college. So yeah, again, if it's on Twitter or something for like a 30-second clip, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna go watch AEW because CM Punk's on it, unless I knew someone in the industry, which I don't. So
all right. Well, Magic says hurry up because I do have a lot of writing to do today. So I will listen to Magic and we'll hurry up and we will get to the late pick 4 at Saratoga. Of course, that's what we're covering. It starts in race 7, like it always does on a Wednesday at Saratoga. Race 7, $25,000 claimer for New York breds, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. By the way, fast and firm. I think it's firm. I know they're on the turf. I think it's fast and firm. That's exciting. We've got turf racing. We'll talk about a couple, but we're on the dirt here. Strong field here. The 4 scratch. Everybody else is in. Who did you go with here, Ricky?
Yeah, for the record, I really did like that horse a lot. I thought Power Up Painter was a horse that you had to use. Mm-hmm. I still think this is pretty wide open. I thought it was wide open before. I just included Power Up Painter. We pretty much have the same horses except for one. And we differ there. I'll just talk about the horse I put on top and then the different horse. So I'll go with the 5 Binkster for Ray Handel, Dylan Davis. This horse just makes sense on the dropping class. Has shown some speed, has been tactical a year ago, hasn't really shown that here. This is a true dropping class that makes sense. Some drops in class are like, wow, these horses stink, so we have to drop. I think this is a logical drop, like not quite good enough to run a state bred allowance optional claiming. It was decent, but probably not good enough to win there, especially, it was a muddy seal track as well. So that makes sense. I don't really want Dylan Davis on the lead, but I do kind of think he can get the job done. It's just not like where I would want him preferably. The other one is the 8 Dark Money. Everything Louis Saez, I've been saying this, and this is not for the bet. I don't care about the bet. The worst thing that I have to do, if you guys didn't listen yesterday, we did these over-unders, so whatever, you can watch yesterday. I'm not going to get into it. But Louis Saez, Aaron, better than me. Everything he seems to get on is winning or riding extremely well. Right now, the 8 at 5-1 for a small barn. It's these catch mounts that he's getting coming out of George Weaver. That's definitely a downgrade from George Weaver to Eduardo Jones. But hey, I think Saez can get this horse to the lead and go gate to wire to price. You can see the morning line odds if you guys are watching. The 5 is 5-2, a slight favorite ahead of everyone else, but I think you can make the case for a bunch in here. And there are probably a few that I'm not using that you can make for a solid case for as well.
These seem to be the races that get me beat a lot. Lower level ones and just they all kind of look the same. I did not use the 8, but I definitely can see the argument to try to put the 8 on the ticket. I'm not gonna really argue, to take the 8 off on your ticket. Listen, I thought 9th Hour, the 6 horse, was interesting. Claimed last time out, 2 races back by Orlando Noda. Put in an allowance race, did not run well whatsoever. Now gets back to the to the class this horse has been in. And oh, by the way, Irad Ortiz Jr. gets aboard. I think it's enough for me to put the 6 on top here. I just thought the duo of those two pretty powerful. In the last year, they've got together 28 times, 36% win percentage, 68% of the money. So I think the horse is going to run well. I thought the 6 was the top use. You know, the 2, a horse like this for Chad Brown, usually like at Belmont or let's say Aqueduct even, I'm not using it, but I think it's Saratoga. He does spot more aggressively trying to get victories instead of trying to just, get rid of a horse, so to speak. So I thought, yeah, that makes a little bit of sense. He puts Castellano on. I think if you've been paying attention, Castellano's not getting the big time mounts, right? But, gets on here for Brown in a spot where they can win. I totally agree with the 5. I don't need to go into that. With the 7, first off, the claim for Levine, I don't think this guy's too bad of a trainer. Horatio de Paz last time out, I think, I would trust him a little bit more. But Jose Ortiz rides through the claim. And I thought that was at least interesting enough to throw the horse on the ticket. A lot of times in these situations, I'm looking for, little signs from jockeys, more so than I would an allowance or a stakes, where the level of the horse really decides those. Here, the human connections kind of give you an idea of maybe who's running well and who's not, who's training well and who's not coming into the race. So, yeah, I went 4 deep as well. I think it's a really tough race. Let's look at the comment here from Dennis. The jockey combo between the 1 and 1A. What a championship 2-0. Here's a question. What made Ricky not use the 7 and Aaron not use the 8? Just want to see you compare that. So what made you not use the 7? We'll start with that.
Okay. So I want to answer that question with me kind of using the 8. So first of all, Luis Saez is, I don't want to say a better rider than Jose Ortiz. I've been on the record saying I think Jose Ortiz is the best overall rider in the country, and I stick to that. I said that at the beginning of the meet. I'm saying that now. But Luis Saez might just be hotter. And again, it seems, I said yesterday, like a dream meet. So maybe we'll see if he's really got magic. Now, I'm not talking like the horse is juiced or anything like that, but we'll see it. If this is just everyone's played sports. There just sometimes you go through things where it's like everything you're doing is right. And then there are slumps when you go through, it's like everything I'm doing is wrong. It seems like Luis Saez, everything he's doing is right. The move he makes is right. Saving ground might be right. Holding back. I mean, is there a big difference between the 7 and the 8? Outside of the last race, and Aaron knows better than me, or, whatever, you can't rely on horses at this level to stay consistent. Because the 7 ran well, lost. I kind of look at the 8 where it's like, I want this horse as close to the lead as possible. I should get that. The 7, and even Aaron would admit, what is the excuse for that 7 to lose last time? I mean, you have a length and a half lead. You lose by a nose. You veer out in the stretch. Jose Ortiz was aboard. It's not like you're getting a rider upgrade. I just look at that and I'm saying, you're supposed to hold on. Now, granted, the 8 was never really in the race. So it depends on how you want to look at it. I don't hate the 7. I'm not like going to sit here and say, and to talk about the 1 and 1A, Talbert Howell and Tizan Shang, I'm better off just keeping my thoughts to myself, I think. So, yeah, I don't hate this. I don't hate the 7. I don't know. I don't think there's much of a difference between the 7 and the 8, to be quite honest. So
same. That was the 4th horse I was debating between. Almost put them both on there. To me, I trust the trainer of the 7 a little more than the trainer of the 8. That's what it came down to. I get that Luis Saez gets aboard, and listen, I've said a lot that hey, a jockey that is a star like Luis Saez gets aboard for a lesser known trainer. It's a good sign, but I don't know. I just didn't trust the trainer of the 8, so I chose the 7. It's really just as simple as that. All right, let's go to the 8th race now. I'll pull that up, scroll us down. There it is. All right, field of 8 for us here. We could start our allowance company for 1 mile and 1/8 on the main track. So back-to-back dirt races here. Field of 8, they're all in, no scratches. I thought this was another one, pretty wide open affair, a little bit better caliber of horse, obviously, though. So let's go through this one and tell me where you went.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. I'll use the horse I put on top, and then the horse that you're not using, because we have a bunch of the same. Winterpool, I thought, is the horse to beat. I would assume that you think the same. I mean, based on his last two races, I know the last one was over a muddy track, but it's the same level, same exact thing. It was a little disappointing that he didn't win because he was third by a neck and then second by a neck. He really should have won, to be quite honest. And he's one of those. It's Chad Brown, but it's Ricardo Santana. I thought that was interesting. I'm not sure if we've seen that duo hook up this meet. Maybe we can get some info on that.
Four times.
Oh, that has happened 4 times. Okay.
Only 4 times, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, it's actually more than I thought. I would have said 1 or 2, but yeah, that's just not a weird combo. Both are really good, just a combo you don't see often, I should say. You usually see like an IRAD, but he's going on Joe Sharp, who's winning at 27%. Yeah, obviously no Asmussen in here as well, so Ricardo maybe he's a free agent, whatever. I thought that was interesting. I also think that this horse – I guess one of those times Aaron was probably on July 30th here at Saratoga, I'm guessing. Yeah. But yeah, this horse also rode at Churchill Downs twice. So maybe that was the key there. We'll just keep Ricardo aboard. I don't know what the thinking is, but it makes plenty of sense. I just don't trust him to single up. That's my problem. It's not the talent. He's the most talented. I just don't trust him. And the 4, Umbrazo, I kind of liked his race last time out. I thought he was forwardly placed. I don't think the 5th by 2.5 is as bad as the running lines would suggest. A lot of horses are coming out of that race, Aaron. I mean, the 1 ran in it, the 2 ran in it, the 3 didn't. The 4 ran in it, the 5 ran in it, the 7 ran in it. I mean, they're all loaded. Same horses. If you don't trust the 5, which I don't entirely do, and I'm guessing based on your 4 horses as a group, you don't either. I think you have to go deep. You're either, to me, you're singling because you just think the 5 is better, or you're trying to find some prices. I know the 4 isn't a big price, and again, I used the 7 as well, not a big price, but I just think you needed to go a little deeper to feel better about your selection. So I went 4, 5, and 7, but I'll let you kind of talk about a few more there.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 5. I'll start with that one. If you remember, I liked this horse a lot last time this horse was at Saratoga and ran, and we had a show. And God, it's just like, how did you lose? And it was a loss where it's like you had every chance to win Winterpool, and you just wouldn't go by. Because of that fact, it's like I was impressed with that effort, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to trust this horse. But I'm with you. I think this horse makes sense. The 7's who I put in second, Top Gun Tommy. You kind of talked about in the claiming ranks. It's really hard to find a consistent horse in the claiming ranks, right? You get to this allowance ranks, and it's like, yeah, or even starter allowance. I know this isn't like the full allowance, but Top Gun Tommy is just really consistent, and you get like the difference between a claimer and even the starter types horses. I think this horse gets on the lead, and I think this one will be the one they have to catch. Last time out, that race, like said, that Winterpool did finish ahead of Top Gun Tommy. I was on a muddy track, so maybe gets a fast track here and is able to hold the lead a little better. I thought that was one you needed to use. The 8, Geocare, it's just a situation. I want to give this one more shot for Pletcher. Gets Rosario today. I don't know if that's really an upgrade one way or the other, but kind of like on the keep me in mind subject, kind of to start the show, talked about how Rosario fits keep me in mind. I think Rosario fits how this horse runs, comes from way out of it. So I thought, yeah, we'll give this horse one more shot. That like, again, I don't think it's an upgrade to Rosario, but he may fit the horse a little bit better. So I thought he was interesting. Then the 2, Tis Ride Time. This is one I could probably be talked off of, but second time out here at Saratoga, was on that muddy track at 20-1, really outran the odds. Ian Wilkes is a guy that really progresses horses pretty nicely. Maybe runs a little better over a dry track today. And like I said, if I've got Winterpool, or I'm like, yeah, going to be a shorter price, not quite sure he can finish the job, maybe I'm going to get this 2 involved and get for a little bit of a price. I noticed you did not use the 2 or the 8 at all. Were those 2, like, did you even consider them, or they were a quick no for you?
No, I actually considered using the 2. I have nothing to do with the 8.
Okay.
And the reason being, not only do I think he's not good enough, we saw him, he couldn't win. You're supposed to win at a 40,000 claiming level if you can compete here on paper. The thing that you brought up, which is interesting, you wanted to give him another shot because it's, yes, Joel and his come from behind style, fine, and Pletcher. If you were to give, okay, let's just replace Kelly Breen and Tyler G on the 7 and give those connections to the 8, you might be thinking differently. I understand where you're coming from for Pletcher, Joel, but it's like there is nothing on paper that this horse has done that could stack up. So if someone made the claim that you're making, it's a Pletcher Joel, I don't want to leave it off at 6-1. Well, I can't argue that. Once you start diving into the stats and the time form numbers and the PPs, he doesn't stack up. The 2 I thought was interesting. I just do not. I kind of see this as a merry-go-round race, and I watched that replay last time out. I think it's a lot of horses. Think about it like this: the 5 Winterpool, did he really make up ground? 4th and by 2, and then 2nd by a neck, made up 2 lengths the whole way. The 7 was up by a half a length early on, lost by a length and a half. Like, it never seemed like anyone really made a run. Mm-hmm. Kind of seems like that's what's going to be here. Now, again, going from a muddy to a fast track, again, you might still have a little moisture in it from over the weekend, but it's beautiful there today. So by the time they get to this one, it'll be completely 1,000% fast. I'm more interested to see who makes the lead, because you could have a horse like the 6 make the lead. You could have who just won over a sloppy track showing speed. The 7 can show speed. The 5 can show speed. Like, there are a lot of horses that can show speed. I think that's the bigger question. That would give us a lot more answers. We don't know that ahead of time. But yeah, I'm out on the 8. The 2, I don't think fits, but I actually prefer, just because I think I'm getting a better price than the 8. I really, to your point, like, if it's not Pletcher Rosario, this horse doesn't even deserve a second look. Are there any comments for this race?
Yeah, I was going to get to this one. Oh, I love when Dennis makes a long comment. I can't even see Ricky. All right, so one thing that there you go. I got you now. That's funny. Yeah, you look like you're peeking up over a building or something.
Well, Dennis is over here typing full-on books. I got to pick my head up.
And Ricky said earlier he doesn't like to read, Dennis. So
yeah, I'm not reading it. You're gonna have to summarize it. I'm not reading this whole thing.
Yeah, I'll summarize it. He basically saying that he does not like, and I agree with you, Dennis. He does not like that the jockey, the 7 can't keep a jockey. 2 back it was Castellano. Now it's Ortiz. Now Ortiz, or then last time out was Ortiz. Now it's Gaffleone. Ortiz has jumped to the 3. Why would he do that? So what were your thoughts when you kind of looked at that and thought, why can't this horse keep a jockey?
Well, first of all, at Gulfstream, you got Paco, which, again, Paco's more aggressive, so that worked. I think, forget about this for a minute, but let me throw this to you, Dennis. Okay. And tell me, and Aaron as well, tell me what you guys think. When this horse came to Belmont, we hadn't seen this horse for a long time. Right, hadn't seen it, and I'm just making up a theory. I have no facts behind this, just making it up. Haven't seen.
What we like to do.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying I don't know. I don't have this through information. I'm just taking a stab. I could be completely wrong, and you guys can completely disagree. I'm just throwing it out there. They give Javier Castellano the mount for Kelly Breen, and then gets Jose, and they're like, oh, all right, maybe this horse is decent. Maybe this horse found its level, so they upgrade. Now Jose Ortiz rides for Wayne Potts. He's been riding a good amount for Wayne Potts, like Jose has. So maybe that's what it is. And Tyler G, just didn't have anyone. I don't think it's a downgrade. We're talking about keeping jocks. Going from Paco at Gulfstream, which I'm sure there are better riders at Gulfstream, but he's still solid, not a bad rider. And then he gets Javier, Jose, and Tyler G. Maybe Jose is the best of the bunch, but I don't think it's by that much over Tyler. And Javier in his heyday, probably better than both of them. So, I mean, it's not, I get the point of not keeping the jocks. I'm not worried about it when you're getting good jock after good jock. I would make this point, Aaron. He's still getting good jocks, which means the connections, or not the connections, the jockey agent or the rider himself who's making these decisions think this horse has a shot. Otherwise, you would see, I don't know. Oh, they're all good riders in here. You might see a Manny Franco, or you might see a David Cohen, or you might see a Dylan Davis. You know what I'm saying? Or yes, even my boy Jose Lezcano. But the fact that he's still picking up good riders to me is more of a positive than a negative.
Yeah, and I think to Dennis's point, it's not a Gaffleone aboard isn't a bad thing. It's just why in the world did Ortiz change? But yeah, I think you made good points there, Ricky, for sure. And to your point, if Jalen Samuel's on this horse, you're like, oh shit, this is what the hell happened. But it's Gaffleone, and it's like, yeah, I can trust Gaffleone's going to do a good job here. So I'm with you. I'm not overly concerned, but it is. I will give Dennis credit and say it is kind of odd that is happening. But I don't think it's a huge concern. All right, let's get to the main event. Yeah, surely it's the main event today. It's race 9 on the card. We're on the turf. It's the John's Call Stakes. Going 1 mile and 5/8, $120,000 purse, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a graded sweepstake on the turf in 2021. All right, field of 7. Moretti was entered here, but was a main track only. And thankfully, we don't have main track onlys today. That horse is scratched. Field of 7, I singled up here. You went 4 deep, so we obviously see this one a little different. I'll let you kick it off.
Well, I was actually, you know what? I'm going to throw this back to you. Why don't you take a shot? Because I wanted to look up something first.
Okay.
So I'll let you go.
That sounds great. I love when I go first. All right. Here's the deal. Listen, if you've listened to this show all the way back from December 23rd through now, we've probably talked about Shamrocket 6 times. I love Shamrocket. I've always loved this horse. Very first show we ever did, I said, put $20 to win on Shamrocket, and he won. And he has just, look at these past performances, so consistent. I mean, second, win, third, second, fourth, third. And the thing about it is, once they left Gulfstream, they've stepped this horse up in competition, and he continues to run really, really well. This horse finished 4th, only beaten 1.5 lengths in the Man of War, a grade 1 race. This horse finished 3rd in the Bowling Green, a grade 2 race last time out over this track. Gets the big class drop. I realize he's lost a couple of races kind of like this, but, like the race 2 back was an unlisted, or an ungraded stakes. Gaffoe was in the race. He's not going to beat a horse like that, I realize he did lose at Tampa in a race he probably should have won that was a stakes, but I like him here a lot. I think this distance is perfect for him. So I'm going to single up number 3, Shamrocket.
Yeah, I'm obviously using Shamrocket, but to your point, and I think you're just like the fantasy football player who sucked all game, but he got that final drive where he got some points that you don't feel so bad. I was so against your argument until you added that you admitted he's lost races that he should have won.
Oh, he has.
No, but I didn't know if you were going to say that or not. So I was going to hound that point, but you did admit that. So again, you're the guy who got the garbage points in the 4th quarter. I don't completely fully agree with the argument, but it's enough where I see where you're going. That's the point, right? It's like, if we look at this horse's odds, his race in the Bowling Green finishing 3rd was better than his allowance win. It was better than his 2nd place in the Turf Classic at Tampa. It was better than his allowance optional claiming prior to that when he was 4-5. He just doesn't seem like a horse. He seems like a rock emperor. Like, at a price I want him.
Yeah.
At a short price, I have no interest. Now, for the record, I don't want to say no interest because he's got a shot. But I'm going to go with a bunch of other horses in here and pray that I can get one of them home. We'll just go in order. We'll start with the 5 Conviction Trade. This horse, I'm not really sure where he fits, right? Because he had 1 mile and 1/8 last time out, was dead last, steadied, and then couldn't do anything. Then he runs in the Belmont Gold Cup. It's a 2-mile race. Can't get anything done there. Then in 1 mile and 3/16, he runs one of his better races. I think he needs that 1.5 mile type of distance. That's what this is, basically. It's 1 more furlong. If you don't trust Shamrocket, then you got to take a bunch. And I'm going to take Mike Maker right now. I mean, this horse actually closed pretty nicely after he was steadied. He was literally last early on. The 7, Rise the Guy. I mean, we haven't seen this horse on the turf since last August when he ran against Factor This, going a mile and a quarter. Um, I don't know what he really is. I mean, there's plenty of turf pedigree. I'm not really sure why they kept. It's like, oh, Lone Rock is racing, fantastic. We'll throw him in there. Like, and to be honest with you, Aaron, I'm not going to throw all those out. But he's faced in Lone Rock every race this year. So do we really know what he is? I don't. If Lone Rock and Tiz a Magician and Moretti are in the race, we know he's not going to be good. But we knew that. And none of those are in this race. Moretti is obviously scratched out. The 8 Serve the King is my top choice. This was the horse that, if I'm sure looking at it like you did, this is probably the one you're most concerned about. It's Chad Brown, it's Irad Ortiz. We don't have to get into it. But the United Nations to Tribhuvan ran second in the Manhattan, I believe, right, to domestic spending. No issue there. I think we still both believe that domestic spending is the best turf horse this country has to offer, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Probably still a top 3 or 4 turf horse in the country, in the world. So no issue there if you're losing to Tribhuvan. Devamani was always a nice horse as well, who ran well in the Monmouth Stakes Grade 3. We've only seen this horse twice. Plenty of pedigree to go longer. That's not an issue. I think this is the horse that's interesting. I'm just worried now starting on the far outside. We'll see what happens. Plenty of time, though. They start in the backstretch. You guys can go to the bathroom. You can get a snack. This is going to take a while. And they're going to go really, really slow. I was looking up the track record. Do you want to take a guess at what the track record is for this distance?
Boy.
Now, this record has stood up since 1978, which makes sense because they probably only run like one race at this distance. You know what I'm saying?
God,
Like,
I'm going to say a mile and 5/8.
Mile and 5/8.
I don't even know where to guess because that's a hard. Let's say 221.
No, much higher. 237 flat.
Okay.
Flat. So usually a lot. Like if you buy the On Track program, it'll tell you the track records, and it does. Like I use Equibase, so I had to print it out. I had to go look it up. Excuse me. Yeah. So 237. Like there's a legitimate like. It's going to take a while. There's actually a record in here for 2 1/16 miles. I didn't even know that. That was 1979. But yeah, so this is going to, I mean, you're right. How about this? If Shamrocket loses, you have to admit you have 2 horses. He would be your second horse of horses that you will continue to use and lose. For me, it's Sadler's Joy. I have 1. I don't think Rock Your World is quite in that boat. I still would like to use Rock Your World. I think he's been back in training or whatever. He's got some works or something. Mm-hmm. But I know Sadler's Joy on the turf is like, I just can't get over not using him. I'm willing to lose my money every time. Does Shamrocket enter that boat for you with Rock Emperor? Or would you actually be willing to stop using him if he lost?
No, I'm not hooked on Shamrocket. Like I don't use him when he's in the bigger races. Rock Emperor is mine. Well, 100%. I'm not saying I don't have one. I'm just saying I don't think Shamrocket really qualifies. I use him in these spots, and sometimes, to my credit, he wins. And sometimes, like I said, he does lose in this spot, but he doesn't lose every time when he's in logical spots. So I don't count him. All right. Before I see your comments there, Dennis. We're going to get to in a second. I have a question though for Ricky, because I am surprised. You didn't use the 4, right?
I did not.
Okay. Explain that one to me, because that's actually the one I'm most worried about. So explain why you did not use the 4.
So I look at this as a complete merry-go-round. And if I think Shamrocket is the most talented horse, this is my theory. This is what I've played this theory a lot. I do not want anyone coming behind Shamrocket. No interest. Now, we know A Journey to Freedom will be behind Shamrocket. More than likely. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. Serve the King, I expect to show a little bit more tactical speed, especially from the outside. I think Rise the Guy will as well. So I just took horses. Conviction Trade is interesting. He has somewhere he shows speed and somewhere he doesn't. I'm not really sure. With Jose Ortiz, he did show speed and then faded. I'm not really sure what to make there, but I just wanted horses that are going to be ahead of Shamrocket because I don't think A Journey to Freedom can outkick the 3. I just don't think he's good enough.
That makes sense.
So I think they're kind of the same horse. If I were to go short, I would have changed the ticket and then used the 4 and say that either Shamrocket or A Journey to Freedom will catch the front runners. I don't feel that way. I want to go deeper, so my strategy is going to change. But I don't think A Journey to Freedom is bad. I just want horses that I think will be ahead, and Shamrocket will have to outkick them. A Journey to Freedom will have to outkick them and Shamrocket more than likely. So I just don't see that happening when it's going to be extremely slow.
I thought we would get into an argument there, but I mean, your reasoning actually makes a ton of sense. So I have no rebuttal. I think the logic of what you're using there does make sense. All right, now let's get to Dennis here. He says, my opinion, the 7 is a turf horse anyway, so I think the horse gets a better fit today. Yeah, I look at the past performances. I agree. I think that's a pretty good use. And like Ricky, you're alluding to, you think the race is kind of a merry-go-round. Well, the 7 is definitely the one you want. So I get that. Dennis says that he hates my single. I don't think Turn of Foot is quick enough. Dennis, don't be mean. You were mean yesterday on the sports show too, Dennis. Come on.
Oh, Dennis, what did you? I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole sports show. Dennis, what was Dennis saying on the sports show?
I don't remember. To be honest, we were just giving shit back and forth to each other. It was pretty fun actually. But
listen. I actually think the 7 is a little bit better on the turf. Also, I mean that turf effort to factor this wasn't horrible. I mean that was a long time ago. I know that was over a year ago, but. Yeah, that's what we're going off of. I mean, getting Luis Saez doesn't hurt either. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have nothing against it.
No, the deal was, if you watched the show last week, I had a lot of success, structuring a ticket like this. And I thought, if it's set up well today to do the same kind of thing. And I debated, am I going to single in the 8th or am I going to single in the 9th? And I thought I almost singled Winterpool. I thought about it for a long time, and I thought, no, I think I can trust Shamrock a little bit more. So that's the nature of playing these tickets, right? You gotta. A lot of times it's not. Your handicapping could be pretty good, and you still miss it because you just got to go short in one leg, and sometimes you choose wrong. Hopefully that's not me, but I acknowledge that Shamrocket is a scary single. Because he's going to be out of it for a lot of the race, and you're going to be cussing, and it's just, can he catch him at the end? I think he can today. All right, let's go on.
One thing I just wanted to add. You can show these entries that we don't need. It's just we'll know if Shamrocket's much better because it's going to be slow. So if he can outkick them when it's that slow early on, we'll know he was definitively better. Like if a horse from off the pace wins, even if it's not Shamrocket, let's say it is though, because that's who you use, we'll know he was much better. Like it's not going to be a fluke where they're going so fast up front, he picked up pieces. So I agree there. If you think he's that much better, shouldn't matter how far back he is.
It's one of those things, I remember last week somebody was like, well, aren't you worried because it was a race where there was one horse that had dirt experience and off the turfer, and the horse was awful looking, but definitely looked like the best dirt horse. And somebody says, aren't you worried that these turf horses can't run on the dirt? Yeah, I'm worried every time they come out of the gate, but it's just like, you got to make decisions based on, what you feel. And we both felt somebody's going to be better than this terrible horse on the dirt. It worked out. And sometimes it doesn't. That's racing. That's why we're here doing this. And that's why everybody, is trying to figure this stuff out. There's no one answer ever. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go to the final race of the day. We're on the turf again. We're on the inner turf this time. $35,000 claimer going 1 mile and a 16th. For fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. The 8, the 10, the 14 are scratched. Still a very large field here. Another tough one, in my opinion. Where'd you go?
Yeah, I only used 2. So, and you used a bunch. So we're gonna. By the way, for people who can't see, the 13 is in as well. That's Sky Kitten. If Aaron makes any sort of case for the 13, I will literally leave. I will just let him talk by himself because that horse is absolutely horrible. Yeah, I went with a 7-2 and a 12-1. Did you use the? You
I
did
did not
use
use the 12.
Okay, you didn't use the 12. So I'm going to talk about the 11 because that's my top choice, and I'll talk about the 12 as well. My Candy Girl coming from Indiana Grand in a starter allowance, I think kind of is a drop in class, to be quite honest with you. And I don't usually say that about Indiana Grand, but those are protected runners. This starter allowance there is more like your Keeneland 2 starts back, which is your starter 50. Like the levels don't match up because Indiana Grand is much different. If you were to take that Indiana Grand race and just eliminate it or pretend like you never ran it, she never ran it, draw a line through it, however you want to look at it, just coming into that Keeneland race, I'm pretty sure she looks even better on paper, to be quite honest with you, because this is a significant drop in class. The race before at Aqueduct at this level, finished second, going gate to wire, just couldn't hold on at the end. Just, it says in the comment, caught late, just couldn't get there. I think this horse makes a ton of sense. I think she's going to be forwardly placed. And I have nothing wrong with her. There is another Mike Maker that you're using as well, the 5, Jazzy Lady, who you can get into. I thought the 12 Alba Star was interesting because, first of all, it's Jose Lezcano. We don't have to get into that. We know my affinity for Jose Lezcano. I have not liked Mike Stidham at Saratoga at all. Mertcan Ken Termasi has done a nice job, has done a decent job. This horse was horrible last time out. I just have a feeling she's going to be better here. They didn't go that fast, 48-4. I don't really know what happened. It kind of seems to me that a lot of people are putting stock into that race because, Aaron, the race prior to that, she was 6-5 at this level in June. Then she runs that race. She's 3.6, so that's 7-2. And now she comes in at 12-1. She was one race, makes her double the odds. Sorry, like quadruple the odds, triple the odds, whatever it is. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Now, unless someone's sitting here and saying, wow, Mike Stidham, like what a big barn downgrade, I don't think it is. So with that being said, I think this horse has a shot, and it will allow my Candy Girl to sit off a little bit. This 12 has to get the lead to win. Has to. If she doesn't, they're breaking from, what is this, the mile and 16. We'll know within the first furlong if this 12 has a shot. I think this is also, Aaron, a tote board horse. If the 12 takes no money, and it's 12-1, I've got no shot, and I'm pretty much singled to the 11. I really like this. I think the 11 is closest to a single for me in the sequence, to be quite honest. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'll let you talk about, again, you could add on to the 11, but I'll let you talk about a few that you used as well. I know you also used the 5, the 9, and the 10. The 10 is out.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I didn't see that. Okay, hold on. I will update that.
Should I just start talking about another horse why I didn't like them?
Talk about that. Yeah, talk about a different one there. Hold on. Let me update this.
Okay. I will talk about,
what the hell?
I'm going to talk about a horse that we're both not using and why I didn't like them. So, I'm not going to disparage any of your horses. Let's talk about the 2 a little bit, because the 2 is 6-1 morning line, not using them. Dylan Davis. This is an angle that I haven't liked for a long time. This Gulfstream Park in the summer angle coming at Saratoga. I just think those horses tend to be a little weaker. In January, wins at the claiming, then March, start allowance, just like is a really, really good horse. If you're going to play if you're going to play exotics, makes sense. 6-1, extremely consistent. I think Dylan Davis is more than capable of getting this horse to finish second, third, or fourth. Just doesn't seem like she's good enough. A lot of seconds, again, hasn't won since January. So 1 win this year, again, but has finished in the money 5 of 6 times. She's going to be interesting. What did you do here? Oh, so you added the 1 in there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get wild with the one. First of all, okay.
All right, I'm done with the two. I was just trying to buy time because Aaron doesn't do his job. So
I
there you go.
I don't know. I thought for sure I had updated. I sure didn't though. All right, I didn't do on the product either. So the 11, My Candy Girl, is a top choice for me as well. I thought you did a really good job explaining that one. I'm not going to sit here and say I'll be surprised if this horse loses, but this horse to me looks the part. So I like that one quite a bit. The other maker, the 5 Jazzy Lady, this is first off the claim for maker. Ortiz aboard. I think there's just a lot to like about this one as well. I thought if I'm going to use one maker, I'm going to use the other one. We've been burned before when we don't do that. So I'm going to play that one defensively. The 9, I thought this was interesting too. Horse 1 at the 30K level last time out. Linda Rice now first off the claim. Castellano rides through the claim, which he should. I mean, there's no reason to jump off the horse, consistent at this level. I thought that horse made sense as well. And then, I threw in the 1 Unicorn Sally. Okay. Luis Saez has rode for Kimmel 4 times in the last year. They won 2 of them. So let's give this one a shot. I'm needing a pace meltdown, right? I think we all kind of know that. Maybe my 11 or our 11, I should say, in year 12, kind of start banging heads with the 3 up front, and we get a meltdown and the 1 comes running late. I'll throw Luis Saez on there. Definitely a rider upgrade over Manny Franco, who struggled at this meet. See what happens. This horse coming back from 12 days rest. Kimmel on 8 to 14 days rest. He's 1 for 5 and 3 for 5 of the money. So we'll see if we can get a little bit of price home. Did you think about the 1 at all, or was that? I saw the look on your face. You hate the 1, I think.
No. I look, anything Luis Saez gets aboard, I don't hate. There are a few, let's just say, concerns. First of all, again, I respect your opinion. So anytime you vouch for a horse, we'll start there. Nothing that this horse has done recently you like on paper. Because if you want to say she's dropping in class, well, we saw this horse at the claiming level 3 starts back in June, which isn't that much of a difference. She lost to Alba Star, who I like. So what odds do we have on the 1? Because I downloaded these before the morning line odds came out. What do we have here?
We're up here 12 to 1 on both of them.
Right. On the 1 and the 12.
Yeah, they're both 12 to 1. Yeah.
So how could anyone make a claim to me that one horse was third by 2? Sorry, third by 1. No, what am I looking at? Third by 2, right. That's what I thought. Okay. Was the favorite. I'll give you that. Was the favorite. Disappointed. And the 1 was a bomb. 9, almost 10 to 1. Never really made a lick. Mind you, that Aaron, the half was 46 and 2. How much more of a pace meltdown does she need than 46 and 2? Again, at these runners. Again, we're not talking like good turf, like stakes or real allowance horses. Like 46 and 2, you're not getting faster than 46 and 2, are you? What does she need? 45 and 4? I mean, what is she? How much faster can we draw this thing up for her? I'm sorry, you want to use this horse as a price in a multi-race ticket, I can get on board with that. Anyone who makes the claim that the 1 straight up is better than the 12 is wrong, as far as I'm concerned. There's no evidence to point that she's better. There's just none.
I think it's interesting.
Getting aboard.
I think it's interesting, and I know it's the horse was claimed, and that's likely the reason. But Saez is on the 1 after riding the 12 2 straight times. You would think they would want to try to keep Saez aboard, and he would maybe stay, but I'm sure that's not the case. They just thought they're going to go with their guy Lescano here, and I don't blame him. I think Lescano, obviously, very good turf rider. I'm not going to get into that debate at all. So the one thing I will agree on. I think the 12 is like 8 to 1 at post time, and the 1 like 15 to 1 maybe.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the 1 isn't a use, but if you're just saying, Aaron, 1 versus 12, they're both 12 to 1. I'm sorry, there's not a case to be made. Like I just don't think it's that close. Yeah. This is where I completely disagree with Aragona. What evidence does he have? Again, it's different because he's not putting horses at their odds based on what he thinks. He's putting it based on the way the public is going to go.
Yeah.
It's really tough to do that again when you have like an essential quality, because the really big favorites get hammered a lot more. But it's like, I'm sorry, that's just not right. Like they're not going to be even. They have no right to be even from the betting public, as far as I'm concerned. So we'll find out if I'm right or if he was right. I have a feeling I'll be right because again, straight up, I don't think you think the 1 is better than the 12. I don't think you think that.
I don't like either one of them too much, to be completely honest. But I thought I used the 1 over the 12 just because I think the price will be better for sure. Dennis likes Giggle Factor, the 7. I looked at this one, but I think the horse ran better on the dirt. And I don't know, now back to the turf, I'm not quite sure. At a price, though, I think you're going to get every bit of that 12-1. That's not a terrible use. What do you think of the 7?
Let's see here. So we're talking about this. Yeah. I have no issue.
Yeah.
The problem with the 7, and I guess I'll ask Dennis since he brought it up. I for the record, I do like the 7 as well a little bit. That was a horse I marked 4th, so it's not like I don't like the, or like I could make a case. Mm-hmm. But I would ask Dennis, and I would ask you the same thing. First of all, that dirt effort was much better. We haven't seen this horse win on the turf except the maiden claiming 40. That race was scratched down to 6 horses last time out, so that was a factor as well. Drawing to the outside, showing speed. What is her best race? If she proves she needs the leader to be close to it, she's not faster than the 11 or the 12. She's just not. It's kind of like, all right, so now make a case. And to be honest, Aaron, I don't think she's faster than a 3. So it's kind of like, what's her best race? That would be like, I just haven't seen enough from the turf. Again, I like the 7 more than I like the 1. I mean, I'm just so against the 1 that it's borderline disgusting. So,
okay, this field, what do we have here? We've got 11 runners, I think, with the scratch.
We have 7. So we have 7 because the first 7 aren't out.
11. Where does the 1 run in this race?
All right. Well, I think the best way to answer that question is which horses do I think should fall down and be in a barn?
You think he can run? You think he or she will run 11th?
No. I said I should answer based on who I think is worse.
Okay.
So I think the 4 is worse.
Okay.
I'm not just going off morning line odds. I'm not looking. I don't want to admit it, but the 3 is worse also. So we're at the 3 and the 4. I think the 2 is better. I believe the 5 is better. The 6 isn't better. The 7 is better. The 9 is better. The 11, the 12, and the 13. So we're looking at, I say, best is like on paper. I think if this horse finishes in the top half of how many did we say? 11?
Mm-hmm.
The top 6, I think, would be a miracle. That means she beat every horse that sucks, because I think all those horses are horrible. Like I don't see her beating any of these. I mean, I gave you a pace meltdown at this level. She didn't make a single move. Like you said, she needs a pace meltdown. I made the point that she got a pace meltdown. Well, like
those were New York bred allowance horses. Now we're at $35,000 claiming level.
No, the 35 claiming level. They went 46-2. Yeah, see, now you're shaking your head because I'm right. They're not going faster than that. How about this? Here's my amendment. If the 11 and 12 go 46 or slower, so 46 or faster, if we see a 45 and change, even if it's 45.99, I will admit that I was wrong and that they went faster. They're not going fast. I don't know what the first quarter is. I can click into this and see. The first quarter was 23. All right, that's a touch fast. But to go 46 is pretty fast. You would have expected at that point to see something closer to 47.
Yeah.
She got the pace meltdown in that race at this level and didn't do anything. So again, you're saying Luis Saez gets a board. If that's the best case, then I can't argue it. I just can't. But
we're shocking the world today, Ricky. We're shocking the world in the last. If I'm alive, that one's going to be paying well.
Here's my what I'm willing to do. How about let's do a friendly wager.
First of all, I'm not sure I'm interested in wagering on this horse with you in a head-to-head.
No. Well, I wasn't going to say the horse has to win. I wasn't going to say the horse has to win. I'm bringing my air mattress up to Saratoga Springs, so no one has to sleep on the floor. If the one wins, for me, you, and Jared, unless there's other people, then this is going to change. But for the three of us, I will pay for one of the meals if it's just the three of us. I don't know what it's going to be. I'll be more than happy to pick it up. Absolutely. First of all, I was always going to pay for my part, but I'll be more than happy to pick it up.
Okay.
If this one finishes worse than half the field, so sixth or worse, you have to be willing to give up the bed one of the nights. You get the air mattress. You don't have to sleep on the floor. You get the air mattress.
All right, that's fine. I'll do that.
That's fair.
That's fair.
And then I guess if the horse finishes 2 through 5, then we both win and nothing happens. Okay. I'll admit I was wrong about this horse finishing in the top 5. Because I see 6 or worse, but then we both win. So you could feel, you could still keep the bet. That's fair. It's friendly. Because this horse is not winning. This is what the night that I'm in the bed, I guess.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Trust me, Dennis, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, I've seen this guy. Got zero game.
Well, that's we could just leave it at that. We're not gonna get into personal details here. But yeah, so the one has to win for me to lose. And this horse has to finish 6th or worse. And then you give up, and then you get the air mattress. Again, you don't have to sleep on the floor. That was torture.
This is not fun.
The air mattress is pretty good. I'll say that. The air mattress is pretty solid. Like it's a decent night's sleep. So
I'm excited for this. This will give us something to look forward to in the last race today. I'll glance up from the Travers guide that I'm surely going to be working on by then and have some fun for a second. All right. Recap the ticket there, Ricky.
Yeah, so again, race 7. We'll start in race 7. We always do here on a Wednesday. I went 2, 5, 6, and 8 again. I think Binkster is the horse to beat, but I'm interested about the 8. Luis Saez getting a board for Eduardo Jones, who owns and trains. We'll see if this is Luis Saez money or they let that horse kind of be that 5 to 6. So I went 5 to 6 to 1, I should say. The next race I went 4, 5, and 7. Aaron and I agree Winterpool's the horse to beat, but you always feel good about betting a horse like the 7, Top Gun Tommy, just extremely consistent. No matter how you're playing tickets, always nice to have a horse like that. Again, I don't trust Shamrock in the next race, just like I don't trust Winterpool. We'll see if Shamrocket's better no matter what, or if he's going to fall flat on his face again. I think you can get some prices. I expect Shamrocket to take more money. I say he's probably 8 to 5. That would be my guess, which should float some others up as well. In the 10th, I'm going to single the 1. I think that horse is an absolute monster. No, I'm kidding. I'm not using anything to do with that 1, the Kimmel horse. I just went 11 and 12. I think the 11 is so much better than everyone else. I don't think it's going to matter. I expect the 12 to get the lead, see how far she can go. Irad just sits in the perfect pocket trip. What does she do? What does he do with her? Just tip out and take over. So that's what I'm expecting. 11, 12 there. So it's 4x3 by 4x2. It's a $48 ticket for the late pick 4.
All right. Yeah. Let's see what happens here. 2, 5, 6, 7 in the first leg for me, just spreading out there in that cheap race. 2, 5, 7, 8 in the next one. I just think that's wide open. If you want to go shorter, I do like the 5 a little bit. Almost singled there, but I decided to single in the next race with Shamrocket. That's right. The Ricky's Rocket horse, Shamrocket. We've talked about this horse a million times. I like him today. I think he's really classy. I think he's going to get the job done. 1, 5, 9, 11 to round it out. And the horse that everybody needs to keep an eye on to see if Ricky has to pay for a meal at Saratoga. That would be very, very fun. I don't know if this is confirmed, but Dennis says that Andy Serling has COVID.
I'm not coming. I'm not coming to Saratoga. I wanted.
Does he have COVID for real? Do we know that for sure?
I don't know. I just wanted an Andy Serling autograph. So
yeah, okay.
So I'm not coming. I'm just gonna stay home and sulk.
Let me. Yeah, Andy tweeted it out. Yeah, okay. Well,
Aaron, bring your suit. Maybe Nair's looking for a public handicapper over the weekend. Bring your suit.
That's a little scary. Listen, this COVID situation it's pretty scary. I'm being serious. We may all have it by the time this weekend's over with.
Well, yeah, I would assume he's probably vaccinated. I shouldn't assume that. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know, but the bottom line is you still don't want to get it.
No, of course.
So yeah, Jody says hi to us both, and we say hi to you, but I don't understand the comment. You guys were talk Aiden O'Brien hold up. I don't know what that means. But we'll answer something if we understand what you're saying, but I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, that's not good. Todd Pletcher also COVID. I think he's fine. He's over it now, but I don't think he even had symptoms hardly. But yeah, it's scary right now. Boy, Andy's probably been around a lot of people. That's okay.
Well, to that point, I would say, Andy, you might want to stay away from Caroline Street with all 22-year-old. I'm not going to call them kids, young adults that may or may not be vaccinated, even if they are or aren't, probably making questionable decisions. So at best. So you know what I'm saying? If word gets around to Andy, I would tell him, Andy, you might want to stay away from the young adults.
I would be worried about that for sure because he is out a lot.
And just the amount of people he probably comes in contact with on a daily basis at the track, let alone, just going out, just being, at the track, seeing a lot of different people as well. There's football news. Trevor Lawrence officially started week 1.
Okay.
I don't think that's really news, to be quite honest.
No.
I was looking to buy some Gardner Minshew futures, though, the way Urban Meyer was talking. But
yeah, that's not surprising. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I said yesterday on the show, it'd be I hate that you got a rookie head coach for the NFL and a rookie quarterback.
What's their over under? Like 3.5? Something like that?
No, it was like 6.
No, it wasn't.
I swear to God. Let me look it up. Hold on.
Can we go through these real quick? Actually, you know what? I need everyone to stay on. I'm just gonna say over under. Aaron's gonna pull them up. We can go in order.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend a minute. I'm just gonna say over under. Like I'm not gonna give any analysis off the top of my head. The first thing I think of. Over under. That's it. And we'll just move on. Okay. And then I'm sure you have your stuff in front of me and you'll tell me how many we got, how many we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And you can go by the odds you used yesterday. Like, I don't really.
This isn't what I used yesterday, but it'll work in a pinch.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm curious to know where we
think that's it. Okay. I'll just read them off here for you. Kansas City the number's 12. So Kansas City's 12.
Over.
Tampa Bay 11.5.
Under.
Whoa. Okay, we're different there. Baltimore Ravens 11.
Over.
I went over as well. Bills 10.5.
Over.
I went over. I had 11. Okay. Packers 10.5.
Under.
Ooh, I went over. San Francisco 10.5.
Under.
Okay. Los Angeles Rams 10.5.
Under.
I went over. Indianapolis at 10.
I would take the under at 6.5. Don't trust the quarterback.
I agree. I thought this was a weird line.
Yeah. Under.
Okay, I'm under as well.
Okay, so the best case you can make is the Jaguars are 2 wins, the Texans are 2 wins. You're at 4. I guess that's the way
Okay. But 10? No way.
No. I know, but I'm just saying. Right. Yeah, I'm with you. But okay, under.
Cleveland right now 9.5.
Over.
I agree. Dallas 9.5.
Over.
It's tough, but I agree. Seattle 9.5.
Over.
I agree. Tennessee 9.5.
Over.
Why did you hesitate? I think they're going to win 10 easy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love the team, but over. That division is dog garbage. They could sweep the division. They could.
That's my point right there. I agree. The Chargers are at 9.
Under.
I agree. The Dolphins are at 9.
Under.
Over. Come on, give me a break. The Patriots are at 9.
Well, I need 10 to beat me. That's not a double-digit win team with Tua. I don't like him at all. Over on New England.
Over on New England. Okay. The Saints at 9.
Over. Sean Payton's too good to get this team less than 500. So
might be right there. Minnesota is 8.5.
Over. I think that's one of the more improved teams in the league. Over.
Okay. Pittsburgh 8.5.
Over. They're still too talented. They're not going. Mike Tomlin's never had an under 500 season. If you go under, you're saying 8 and 9.
Yep, that's correct, because there's 17 games this year. Keep that in mind when you're playing your over-unders. All right, the Arizona Cardinals are at 8.
Over.
Okay. Washington football team.
Over.
Okay. Denver Broncos 7.5.
Under. Drew Lock's a loser.
I agree. Las Vegas Raiders 7.5.
Over. I think they're like at 8. I think they just go 8 and 9, just miss the playoffs.
Yeah. Carolina Panthers 7.5.
Under. Sam Darnold's another loser. Christian McCaffrey's a stud. They have some talent. He's an absolute loser. I've watched too many Jet games. He's a loser.
The New York Giants are at 7.
Loser quarterback. Under.
The Atlanta Falcons are at 7.
Winner quarterback. Over. I think that's enough. I think that division's not very good outside of the Bucs either, and I think they can get one against the Saints. Still Matt Ryan versus Jameis.
I love it. Chicago Bears. That's
way over. I think Justin Fields starts a lot earlier than people think, and this defense is legit. Justin Fields doesn't have to score more than 20 points probably to win. I say over.
All right. 6.5 for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Way under. This team still sucks.
Wow.
Still is. There's nothing good about Cincinnati outside their quarterback and a few weapons. Their defense, or if you were a running back with a helmet, you'd average 5 a carry. They suck. Their defense.
I think they get close to that total.
No, they get close. It's just under.
The New York Jets are at 6.5.
Way under. Oh God, way under.
We couldn't believe that one either. We thought, how in the hell are they at 6? Does somebody know something we don't know? Philadelphia Eagles are at 6.5.
Under. And the reason I'm saying I think the Giants and Eagles end up much worse than Washington and Dallas. I think for the first time in a multitude of years, like Dallas and Washington are 10-win, 11-win teams potentially, and the Giants and Eagles are dog shit. So
I'm going to highlight this right here as well. The under is paying plus 110.
Yeah, you get a
Philadelphia
price.
Eagles. Give me that all day long.
The Eagles aren't even sold on their quarterback. So you're not sold, and you want to be sold on Joe Flacco? I'm a Raven fan. I'm not sold on Joe Flacco. Never have been. So
listen, Jalen Hurts is not going to be an NFL quarterback. I don't hate the guy at all. I liked him at Oklahoma, but he's not an NFL quarterback. All right, Jacksonville. What's that?
Good fantasy quarterback, but
yeah, for sure. He's going to run and get you rushing touchdowns. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars 6.5 with the news of Trevor Lawrence starting in Jacksonville.
If they told me John Elway, when he was on the Broncos, was starting, I still wouldn't take him. This team, if you didn't get an indication of how bad this line is, watch them against backups of the New Orleans second and third stringers on way under. Oh my, I'm sorry. That is the biggest load of garbage I've ever seen. At least if you're the Colts and it's a 10, it's like, all right, you're going to get 2 wins against the Jaguars. Are we sure the Jaguars are going to beat the Texans? Are we sure? I'm not. Yeah, I'm not either. So the Lions are dog shit under.
Like you said, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback.
I want to take the over on the Texans. I know they are the worst roster in football. I would take the over. I think the Colts are overrated. They could steal one by some miracle. I haven't looked at the schedule. Mind you, the Texans were last year, weren't they? In their division? Were they last?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So they're going to get a bunch of last place teams as well. And mind you, Tyrod Taylor doesn't lose you games. He doesn't win you games, but he doesn't lose you games.
He also doesn't play very many games because he gets hurt.
Well, it's not his fault. He could have been the Chargers starter if the guy didn't inject him and puncture a lung.
That's fair.
To be honest, like Justin Herbert may or may not have started last year if he didn't puncture a lung. Maybe at some point, but not that early against the Chiefs. And once he played that game, everyone's like, whoa, Justin Herbert's good. So I don't know where I land. Where did we, before we wrap up, where did we end? Was I close?
Listen, you were doing great through 30 teams, and then you went on a tangent and you stopped playing the game like we need to be playing. We're at 5, the Detroit Lions.
No, I said the Lions are dog shit, and I'm going over on the Texans.
I didn't ask you the question yet. You just went off the rails and went on your own. So I'll ask again. The Lions are at 5, over under.
Under.
Thank you. And the Texans 4.5. You're taking the over.
Well, right. I think the Lions and Texans are pretty much the same team. Jared Goff's a little bit better, mind you. The Texans, if they just get into a run, like the Jags. Oh, the
Jags were last in that division,
and that's okay. That's even makes our point even more. And Jaguars should get a bet. I think the people are really, really down on the Texans. And who knows if Deshaun Watson actually plays or not. I have a feeling let me put it to you this way. If Deshaun Watson plays half the games, 6 games, wouldn't want to be holding an under ticket. I can tell you. I don't know what the ruling is. It's just something to consider. Because this is a fair point, and I'll bring this up before we wrap up. You're getting the Houston Texans is 4.5. I'm assuming the line is assumed that Deshaun Watson won't play at all. Maybe he does play a few games, and all of a sudden your 4.5 becomes a 5.5 or 6 if he's a quarterback. I don't know if he's going to play. I don't have any info. I'm just taking a guess. I don't know.
I just can't see him playing. I would set his over under at a half, honestly, and I just don't think it's going to happen. But you're right. We don't know for sure. And if he does, yeah, maybe they can win a couple more games. I'm still going under. I don't like that team at all. So yeah, Dennis says the FBI didn't stop Navarro or Service. We'll see.
Well, a lot of things can change. Before we wrap up, though, just everyone go throw your comments on Racing Dudes on the Twitter. We posted the over-unders for jockeys yesterday. There are 27 comments up there, so please keep that going. Yeah, I just looked. 27 comments, so please tell us. There's just over-unders for the week. I'm not going to be paying attention to it that much, to be quite honest with you. If I lose, I will do the punishment, but I'm not going to. We know, again, David Cohen wins one race. There's nothing to pay attention to at that point. I already lost. So yeah, we'll see. He has a mountain today, so we'll see. I'll be rooting against him today. But yeah, that's going to do it. So tomorrow, I don't know. I know you're not around. I don't know what the schedule is.
Okay.
If I'm doing it for anyone that's interested, I hope you guys are, it will be at 10 a.m. It will not be at 11. So I don't know we like doing it too. Maybe we'll do it for like a Keeneland week or maybe a Delmar week or when we go out there. I don't know. We could do it again. It'll be at 10 a.m. I'm not going to schedule it. If I will tweet it out, I'll have the Racing Dudes retweet it or tweet it out as well. If it's going to go, I'll know by 9 or so what the story is. If we're not doing it, it's because I'm going to pick up Aaron and Jared. So
yep.
That would be why I'm not doing it. If I am doing it, that means I'm probably not coming until Friday, which we'd already talked about. So, we will see.
Yeah, tomorrow definitely a travel day for all of us. Try to get up to the Travers. If you're going to be at the Travers, let us know. We'll be around. We'll be at the Paddock Bar. You can always reach out to us on Twitter if you can't find us or anything like that. Yeah, tomorrow's a big travel day. The Travers Guide should be out tomorrow at some point. Going to work on that today, finish it up probably in the morning. Get it posted, I'd say afternoon-ish. So we got a lot to look forward to. No show or maybe a small show tomorrow. Friday, I'm pretty sure we will do Ricky's Rockets on Friday morning because I think we're going to do Blinkers Off Thursday afternoon as of now. So, and that's all depending on if the planes are on time and everything like that. So we'll see you back here Friday at some, the regular time slot will be Friday. It'll just be Blinkers Off or Ricky's Rockets, I'll say. Tune in tomorrow for the Magic Mike show. And then, like I said, we'll be back here Friday at the normal time. So good luck, everybody playing today. Good luck tomorrow. And start handicapping that Travers card when it comes out today.